The story of Solomon, a prominent biblical figure, he was the wisest man who ever lived. Renowned across nations, sought after by kings and queens, and chosen by God himself. Solomon, son of the legendary King David, began his reign with humility and a heart that longed for wisdom above all else. His name became synonymous with divine favor, unmatched wealth, and peace throughout the land. He built the Temple of the Lord in Jerusalem, a masterpiece that stood as the spiritual and political heart of Israel. From every angle, Solomon's life appeared to be the pinnacle of success, and yet behind the golden walls of his palace, a different story was unfolding. As power grew, so did compromise. As glory increased, so did temptation. Foreign alliances brought foreign gods, and the man who once walked closely with the God of Israel slowly drifted into idolatry and inner turmoil. What began as a reign of wisdom ended in weariness and regret. How could someone so wise lose his way? What does Solomon's story reveal about the human heart, about our pursuit of meaning, our struggle with identity, and the cost of turning away from what we know is right? This is not just a story about an ancient king. It's a story about all of us, the tension between our highest potential and our deepest flaws. The rise and fall of Solomon holds a mirror to our own lives, asking us to confront what we're truly seeking and whether wisdom alone is enough to sustain a meaningful life. Solomon's ascension to the throne marks a pivotal moment in biblical history, rooted deeply in his background as the son of King David and Bathsheba. Born into a complex legacy, Solomon inherited not only the throne of Israel but also the weight of his father's tumultuous reign. David, a man after God's own heart, had faced numerous challenges, and as he neared the end of his life, he imparted crucial wisdom to Solomon during a heartfelt farewell speech. In this poignant address, David urged Solomon to remain steadfast in his devotion to God, emphasizing the importance of following divine commandments and seeking wisdom above all else. This counsel profoundly impacted Solomon, shaping his early years as king. Upon taking the throne, Solomon demonstrated remarkable dedication to God, famously asking for wisdom to govern his people rather than seeking riches or power. This humble request resonated with the divine, leading to Solomon being granted unparalleled wisdom, which he would later use to lead Israel into an era of prosperity and peace. His initial devotion was evident in his commitment to worship, as he built high places for sacrifices and sought to honor God in all his endeavors. Solomon's early reign was characterized by a spirit of inquiry and a desire for understanding, setting the stage for his legendary reputation. As he navigated the complexities of leadership, Solomon's early years reflected a deep commitment to his faith, showcasing the potential for greatness when one seeks divine guidance. This foundation would ultimately shape his legacy, illustrating the profound impact of a leader's values on their reign and the nation they govern. The moment God appeared to Solomon in a dream stands as a defining episode in his life, encapsulating the essence of his reign. Following his ascension to the throne, Solomon found himself in a position of immense responsibility, tasked with governing a diverse and often challenging nation. In this context, he humbly approached God in prayer, recognizing his own limitations and the weight of leadership. Solomon earnestly asked for wisdom to discern right from wrong, rather than seeking wealth or power, which many rulers covet. This profound request highlighted his understanding that true leadership requires insight and discernment, qualities that would enable him to serve his people effectively. The implications of receiving wisdom over material riches were significant. By prioritizing wisdom, Solomon demonstrated a commitment to ethical governance and a desire to align his reign with divine principles. This choice not only set him apart from other rulers but also established a foundation for a reign characterized by justice and prosperity. The wisdom granted to Solomon was transformative. It shaped his decisions and policies, allowing him to navigate complex issues with clarity and foresight. His ability to render fair judgments became legendary, exemplified in the famous story of the two women claiming to be the mother of a child, where his wise ruling showcased his deep understanding of human nature. As Solomon's reign progressed, this divine wisdom influenced not only his governance but also his relationships and international diplomacy. His decisions fostered peace and prosperity, leading to an era of unparalleled growth in Israel. Ultimately, the moment God granted Solomon wisdom became a cornerstone of his legacy, illustrating the profound impact of seeking divine guidance in leadership. The construction of the Temple in Jerusalem stands as one of the most significant achievements of Solomon's reign, symbolizing both his devotion to God and the unity of the Israelite nation. The Temple, often referred to as Solomon's Temple, was an architectural marvel, measuring approximately 60 cubits long, 20 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high, with intricate designs that showcased the artistry of the time. Its exterior was adorned with cedar wood and gold, while the interior featured lavish decorations, including cherubim, palm trees, and open flowers, creating a sacred space that reflected divine beauty and majesty. The importance of the temple in Israel's history cannot be overstated. It served as the central place of worship, where the Israelites could come to offer sacrifices and seek God's presence. The temple became a symbol of national identity and spiritual significance, representing the covenant between God and his people. It was a physical manifestation of their faith, a place where they could connect with the divine and experience communal worship. The temple's establishment marked a new era in Israelite worship, transitioning from the tabernacle to a permanent dwelling for God among his people. Solomon's dedication prayer during the temple's inauguration further underscored its significance. In this heartfelt address, Solomon acknowledged God's greatness and the importance of the temple as a place for prayer and repentance. He implored God to hear the cries of his people and to forgive their sins, emphasizing the temple's role as a conduit for divine mercy. This prayer not only highlighted Solomon's humility and recognition of God's sovereignty, but also set a precedent for future generations, reinforcing the temple's enduring legacy as a sacred space for worship and a testament to Israel's faith. Despite his remarkable wisdom and achievements, Solomon's reign ultimately faced a tragic decline due to a series of critical mistakes, particularly his marriages to foreign women. In an effort to forge political alliances and secure peace, Solomon entered into numerous marriages with women from various nations, including Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, and Sidonians. While these unions initially appeared to strengthen his kingdom, they had dire spiritual consequences. The foreign wives brought with them their own religious practices and idols, which began to infiltrate Solomon's court and influence his heart. As Solomon indulged in these relationships, he gradually succumbed to the pressures of idolatry. The very women he married persuaded him to build high places for their gods, leading to the worship of deities such as Ashtoreth and Molech. This shift away from the worship of Yahweh marked a significant moral decline in Solomon's leadership. The king, once renowned for his devotion and wisdom, began to compromise his values, allowing the worship of false gods to take root in Israel. This not only alienated him from God, but also set a dangerous precedent for the nation, as the people followed their king into spiritual disarray. The culmination of these choices resulted in a profound shift in Solomon's heart. The man who had once sought divine wisdom and guidance became ensnared by his own desires and the allure of power. His relationship with God deteriorated, leading to a loss of divine favor and ultimately contributing to the fracturing of the kingdom after his death. Solomon's story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of compromising one's values and the far-reaching consequences of turning away from faith. During Solomon's reign, several adversaries emerged as a direct consequence of his actions and disobedience to God, significantly impacting the political landscape of Israel. One of the most notable adversaries was Hadad the Edomite, who had fled to Egypt during David's reign. Upon returning to Israel, Hadad sought to undermine Solomon's authority, rallying support against the king. Another key adversary was Rezon, the leader of the Arameans, who established a kingdom in Damascus and posed a continual threat to Israel's stability. These adversaries were not merely personal rivals, they represented the broader political implications of Solomon's choices, particularly his alliances through foreign marriages and the subsequent idolatry that ensued. The emergence of these adversaries highlighted the fragility of Solomon's reign, as they capitalized on the internal strife and moral decline that had taken root in Israel. The political ramifications were profound. Solomon's once unified kingdom began to experience division and unrest. The presence of these enemies served as a reminder of God's displeasure with Solomon's actions, as they were raised up to challenge the king who had strayed from divine commandments. The consequences of Solomon's disobedience were far-reaching. Not only did his alliances lead to external threats, but they also sowed discord within Israel itself. The worship of foreign gods weakened the nation's spiritual foundation, leading to a decline in national unity and faith. Ultimately, Solomon's failure to heed God's warnings resulted in a fractured kingdom, setting the stage for future conflicts and the eventual division of Israel after his death. This narrative serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of faithfulness and obedience in leadership, illustrating how personal choices can reverberate throughout a nation. The end of Solomon's reign, as recorded in the scriptures, presents a poignant narrative of both triumph and tragedy. Solomon, once celebrated for his unparalleled wisdom and achievements, ultimately faced the consequences of his disobedience to God. The biblical account reveals a king who, despite his initial devotion and the divine wisdom granted to him, allowed his heart to be led astray by foreign influences and idolatry. In his later years, Solomon's kingdom, once a beacon of prosperity and peace, became marred by internal strife and external threats, reflecting the profound impact of his choices. The contrast between Solomon's wisdom and his eventual failures is striking. He began his reign with a humble request for discernment, leading to remarkable accomplishments, including the construction of the temple and the establishment of Israel as a powerful nation. However, as he indulged in excesses and strayed from his foundational principles, the very wisdom that once guided him became overshadowed by moral decline. This duality serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities of human nature and the potential for greatness intertwined with the risk of failure. Reflecting on the lessons learned from Solomon's life, we are reminded of the importance of steadfastness in faith and the dangers of complacency. His story illustrates that wisdom alone is not sufficient. It must be coupled with obedience and a commitment to uphold one's values. Solomon's legacy, therefore, is a cautionary tale about the consequences of turning away from divine guidance. It encourages us to seek wisdom not just for personal gain, but as a means to foster integrity and righteousness in our lives and leadership. Ultimately, Solomon's life serves as a profound reminder of the enduring struggle between wisdom and folly, urging us to remain vigilant in our choices. The writings attributed to Solomon, particularly the book of Ecclesiastes, offer profound insights into the complexities of life and the human experience. In Ecclesiastes, Solomon embarks on a reflective journey, grappling with the themes of meaning, purpose, and the fleeting nature of existence. He candidly explores the various pursuits of life, wealth, pleasure, and achievement, ultimately concluding that these endeavors often lead to emptiness. The recurring phrase, "vanity of vanities," encapsulates his realization that without a deeper connection to God, all human efforts can feel futile and unfulfilling. One of the most striking revelations in Ecclesiastes is Solomon's acknowledgement of the futility of life when lived apart from God. Despite his vast wisdom and wealth, he recognizes that true fulfillment cannot be found in material possessions or worldly success. Instead, he emphasizes the importance of fearing God and keeping His commandments as the foundation for a meaningful life. This realization serves as a poignant reminder that our pursuits, when disconnected from a higher purpose, can lead to disillusionment and despair. As viewers reflect on Solomon's insights, they are encouraged to examine their own pursuits of happiness. In a world that often equates success with wealth and status, Solomon's writings challenge us to consider what truly brings joy and fulfillment. Are we chasing after fleeting pleasures, or are we seeking a deeper relationship with God that provides lasting peace and purpose? By engaging with Solomon's reflections, we are invited to reassess our priorities and align our lives with values that transcend the temporary, ultimately leading to a more meaningful and satisfying existence. Solomon's wisdom continues to resonate, urging us to seek fulfillment not in the transient, but in the eternal. As we reflect on the story of Solomon, several key takeaways emerge that resonate deeply with our own lives. First and foremost is the paramount importance of wisdom and faithfulness to God. Solomon's journey illustrates that while wisdom can lead to great achievements, it must be accompanied by a steadfast commitment to divine principles. His initial devotion and humble request for wisdom set a powerful example, yet his later choices remind us that even the wisest among us can falter when we stray from our foundational beliefs. Moreover, Solomon's experiences encourage us to examine our own lives in light of his triumphs and failures. Are we prioritizing our relationship with God in our pursuits? Are we seeking fulfillment in transient pleasures? Or are we striving for deeper meaning and purpose? By reflecting on these questions, we can gain valuable insights into our own paths and make choices that align with our values and faith. We invite you to engage with this exploration of Solomon's life and the lessons it imparts. If you found this discussion enlightening, consider subscribing to our channel for more content that delves into biblical themes and wisdom. Your support through likes and shares helps us reach a wider audience, fostering a community that seeks to understand and apply these timeless lessons. Together, let's continue to explore the rich narratives of the Bible and uncover the wisdom that can guide us in our daily lives. Solomon's story is not just a historical account. It is a call to pursue wisdom, remain faithful, and reflect on our own journeys as we navigate the complexities of life. God bless you.